Click here to subscribe our channel. Do not forget to press the bell icon to get regular updates of free videos.
ठीक है, first of all write down the examination pattern. Since there is no prelims, so it is only directly mains. So in that examination pattern, the first paper will be of general English. It is counted and the weightage will be 100 marks. General studies of 100 marks. But general studies basically contain 4 subparts. One section will be 5 questions from polity, one section will be 5 questions from history, one section of 5 questions from geography, and one section of 5 questions from economy. So polity, economy, geography and history. In each there will be 5 questions and all questions are compulsory. That means you don't have any choice. वहाँ choice नहीं है. 5 marks के each question होंगे. 25 marks polity, 25 marks history, 25 marks for economy and 25 marks for geography. General English will also obviously it will have a 40 marks you can say objective. Objective in the sense synonymous words हैं या sentence frame करने हैं और 60 marks one will be your précis and other will be on essay. But rest 40 will be of directly you can say objective. Then apart from these two, the economic section will include general economics 1, then general economics 2nd, general economics 3rd, and Indian economics or Indian economy. Each will have a weightage of 200 marks. So this will be the total exam for 1000 marks. ठीक है. Now these general economics 1 you can divide it further into broadly we can say 2 part. General economics 1 will be the micro part and the other you can say the mathematical part. So that mathematical part will be including maths, stats and econometrics, and this micro part will be including your consumer theory, production, cost, and they will be numerical based upon that also. So the distinguishing factor between IES syllabus and IES syllabus, major differences lying in this paper. Major differences in this. What will be entirely common will be this Indian economy. So this Indian economy 200 marks यहाँ पे in the IAS syllabus it is nothing but paper 2nd. So paper number 2 and this Indian economy is same paper except one difference. In that syllabus of IAS you have to study economic history, that is Indian economy prior independence also, but that part is not included in ES syllabus. ES के सिलेबस में इकोनॉमिक हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंडिया नहीं पढ़नी है, इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद की इकोनॉमी पढ़नी है. ऑन इन IES सिलेबस इट इज इंडिपेंडेंस बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस ऑल्सो एंड आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस ऑल्सो, बट दिस मेजॉरिटी ऑफ फॉर्म इट इज वी कैन से कॉमन. एंड दीज 2 पार्ट paper 2 and paper 3 in IAS syllabus it is basically everything is included in paper 1, your micro even including that micro. What will be distinguishing factor between IES syllabus and ES syllabus will be this mathematical part including econometrics. This will be totally absent in IES, plus the numerical of micro will also be totally absent in that IES syllabus, like production, cost, consumer theory, numerical based question. So those numerical will not be required there. So we can say in terms of the syllabus 80 to 85% things are common 10 to 15% are separated. So that 10 to 15% differentiating factor will be one section of mathematical. I will elaborate that part. So paper structure first of all clear hai. This will be the pattern. General English 100, General Studies, General Economics 1, General Economics 2, General Economics 3 and Indian Economy. The overall of 1000 marks. Paper का structure भी याद रखिएगा. On one day you will have this paper, first setting and second setting. Second day you will have this paper, both setting, and third day this paper. So it is basically a 3-day exam. And the content for paper 1, now it has been explained here. You can write down that part also because we will be starting with that. Mainly that General Economics 1, the subtopic for General Economics 1 will be, one part will be theory of consumer demand. Theory of consumer demand. Now for convenience, we have divided or explained that syllabus in this form. This will be your theory of consumer demand, cardinal utility, marginal utility analysis, consumer surplus, indifference curve, price income substitution effect, Rtc theorem, duality, indirect utility function, revealed preference and choices under risk and uncertainty. These will be the subtopic for consumer. And other part will be theory of production. So that theory of production will basically include production as well as cost, and there will be some numerical based upon this indirect utility function also in the consumer theory. ये जो टॉपिक आप लिख रहे हैं ये एक्सक्लूसिवली सिर्फ IES के क्लास में आना है, IES की क्लास में नहीं होगा, because it is not required there. The main difference lies in paper 1. So paper 1, this will be, you can say, totally new, because in IES hardly there is any question from consumer theory part, but in ES obviously there are many questions from consumer theory part. So consumer theory will be an important part, then theory of production will be second. You can write down that those topics. One part will be theory of consumer demand, second is basically theory of production, third is theory of value, fourth is theory of distribution, fourth will be theory of distribution, and then fifth is welfare economics. You can say all are part of, you can say entire, all are part of micro. It is mainly micro in nature. ठीक है, पेपर 1 is completely covering the micro. बट AS के अंदर भी आपको पूरा वेलफेयर पढ़ना है, पूरा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन थ्योरी पढ़ना है, प्रोडक्शन और कॉस्ट ऑल दो सिलेबस में लिखा हुआ नहीं होता, बट अगेन यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन दैट पार्ट एज वेल, एंड यू विल फाइंड मेनी क्वेश्चंस एज इट इज ऑल्सो. When I say as it is, that means the same question will be appearing in AS and the same question will appear in the AS also. ठीक है, अभी क्लास के अंदर ये एक्सप्लेन कर लेंगे. Like for example, in 2017 from welfare section, this was the question. State and explain the Calderon's compensation principle. How does Rtc provide an improvement of Calderon's compensation principle? ठीक है, of 18 marks. So you have to state and explain Calderon's compensation criteria and how does Rtc provide an improvement over the Calderon's compensation criteria. This was question in 2017 in IES, and you will find same question in AS as well, and there are many examples. In fact, there are 2 times questions based upon that. You can read either this question of 2015, how is Caldor's compensation principle an improvement over the Pareto optimality, and what does Setosky view in this regard. So the same question was in ES and the same question is in AS. This question not only it was asked once, it has been asked before as well. What is Setosky paradox? How far has Setosky been successful in removing the contradiction in the Caldor's compensation principle? It is same क्वेश्चन. ये ऑप्शनल का है क्वेश्चन, ये ऑप्शनल का क्वेश्चन आप देख रहे हैं 2009 में भी और 2015 में है, और सेम क्वेश्चन ये यहाँ जो आप देख रहे हैं वो इकोनॉमिक सर्विस का क्वेश्चन देख रहे हैं. ये बस एक एग्जांपल के लिए दे रहा हूँ. ऑब्वियसली दे रहा है मेनी एग्जांपल्स. आई विल गिव यू, जैसे जैसे टॉपिक करते जाएंगे उसके साथ आपको एग्जांपल मिलते जाएंगे. इफ यू आर कंपेयरिंग फॉर दिस ईयर क्वेश्चन, जो पेपर अभी जस्ट कंक्लूड हुआ है, in that paper also you will find many questions from just concluded the mains, previous mains, because question bank same ही है यूपीएससी का, दोनों एग्जाम यूपीएससी को लेने हैं तो क्वेश्चन बैंक सेम है. दैट मीन्स if you are preparing for the IES then also you must include all the questions from AS, and if you are preparing for AS then also you are expected to cover some questions from the economic services, excluding the numerical one, excluding that numerical part. Like this question in general economics 3rd, this says critically examine the use of shadow price in planning as explained by Chandri. So the concept and the question was basically on the shadow price. Current year का question है जो just concluded exam हुआ है in paper 3, and you will find same question in AS, वो भी last current year का ही है. First question, what are shadow prices? Why are these preferred over the market price in a project evaluation? So remember, many things will be common. So you can say as far as syllabus is concerned, 80 to 85% things will be common, and the differentiating factor will be basically this part B, which I am writing in paper 1. This all first part will be your part A. So question divided into 2 different sections. This part B is basically mathematical methods. Mathematical methods in economics, and second is statistical methods and econometric model. So basically it is maths, stats and econometrics. Maths, stats and econometrics. So paper 1 is divided basically into 2 sections. If you can consider even if you consider equal weightage, around 100 marks question from micro and 100 marks question from maths, stats and econometrics. So this 100 marks question you can say out of how much? The complete structure was of 1000. In that 1000 marks you can say that 100 marks question is exclusively for IES and not included in that IES syllabus. So this will be the new part, and the content for mathematical methods and economics will be basically these topics. Differentiation and integration and their application in economics. Matlab it may be possible that they are not asking you any specific derivative. The question is just what is the use of differentiation and integration in economics. That means you have to write a descriptive answer. What is the use and application of integration and differentiation in economics? Then optimization techniques, sets and matrices, linear algebra, linear programming, and the second part is statistical and econometric methods. So that will be including all topics. from stats as well as the econometrics part. So combine both, a weightage of maximum, generally it is 90 marks, but maximum it will be 100 marks question from these two topics. Rest you can say that rest part is basically common with the IES classes. Minor there will be some deviations, like when you study growth theories, growth models, then in growth model obviously you will start with the Harrod model, Domer's model, balanced, unbalanced growth approach, then a Solo model, Lewis model, Harris-Todaro model. So all models will be common, but Indian Economic Service may be starting with these topics also, like economic thoughts. What is the meaning of mercantilism? What is the Marx view, classical view? So these will be again sub parts that will be additional topic for economic services classes, and they are not basically asked in the AS paper. So I hope difference clear hai. In paper 1 basically these are the topics. Paper 2 and paper 3 is basically combination of all. That means it will be including your macro paper, it will be including international economics, it will be including growth and development, it will be including environmental economics, project planning. So that will be part of that growth and development section. So the most important differentiating factor was this part. Clear? Now what will happen, that the design of this course will be, for IES there will be approximately, course has been designed into 150 classes in totality, including your economics classes as well as general studies and English classes. Out of that 150, you can say 95 to 100, this class will be basically your mainly economics classes, which will be including micro, macro, international, money, public and finance, then growth and development, and paper 2, that is Indian economy. Now this class 95 to 100 will be common with IES syllabus also. Now what is the additional part, ये अब add कर रहा हूँ मैं यहाँ पे extra thing. Those extra thing is only for ES classes, and those extra will include first of all micro numericals. So because that numerical will not be covered in those classes, because they are not, it is not required basically. So micro numerical will be additional, so you can have 1 week extra classes for micro numerical or macro numerical only for that numerical purpose, because content will be covered here. Then extra thing will be maths, stats and econometrics. Now it will be approximately around 20 to 25 classes additional for maths and stats and econometrics part. So that will be in addition to this. You can say 7 to 10 different classes for numerical purpose separately, and then general studies part, I said there are 4 part here: history, polity, geography and economy. So that economy will be covered in the paper 2 itself. वो तो economy वाले section में cover हो जाएगा. This part will be basically covering that history part, geography part and polity. So जो need है उसके accordingly 15 to 20 class will be good enough for that. And additional will be that English, because marks यहाँ कम आते हैं, इसका ज़्यादा ध्यान रखिएगा. That means वो कहने को इंग्लिश होता है बट नंबर आते हैं 27, 28, 30, 32 ऐसे मार्किंग होती है, because it is not that easy. Similarly in the general studies also, because all questions are compulsory, they are not giving you any choice, so that the format of the paper makes it difficult, and the marking system is also difficult. Marking system difficult in the sense you will have just an idea, if you score around 47 to 48%, you are through. मतलब उसमें डाउट नहीं होता है कि 47-48% ला करके मेरे नहीं होंगे. मतलब 50% is more than enough. 40, but over a period of time अगर 47-48% is the cut off for final selection, that means what? असल इंटेलिजेंट स्टूडेंट होते हैं, बट अगर वो स्कोर नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, इट मीन्स व्हाट? आइदर द मार्किंग इज डिफिकल्ट और द कवरेज ऑफ द सिलेबस इज वेरी वाइड, सो दैट नो वन कैन कवर द इंटायर सिलेबस. एल्स बिकॉज नंबर ऑफ सीट्स तो कम ही होते हैं. लास्ट ईयर इट वॉज ओनली 14 सीट्स, बट स्टिल द कट ऑफ वॉज इन द सेम रेंज. Current year it was 32, I hope 32 seats, but it will be in the range of, you can say, 20 plus minus usually. So you have to score more in the general studies and English part as well. That means score at least bare minimum 40 in each, but scoring 40 will require some effort. 40 score करने के लिए भी वहाँ पे effort करना पड़ेगा. और इधर पेपर 1, पेपर 2, पेपर 3 में एटलीस्ट देयर शुड बी वन पेपर दैट विल गिव यू अ पुश इन द सेंस इट रिक्वायर अ स्कोर ऑफ अराउंड 120, 125. 120, 125 means you are getting a push because you are scoring more than 60% in that one paper. That will compensate paper 1 or any other paper in which you will be falling below 100. And for sure you will be falling below 100 in at least one paper. तो जहाँ पे वन पेपर में बिलो 100 आएगा, वो कॉम्पनसेट करने के लिए मेरे पास एक एडिशनल पेपर होना चाहिए जिसमें मैंने 110 से ज़्यादा स्कोर कर रखा है. ठीक है. सो आउट ऑफ दैट 1500 अगर आ गए तो कोई प्रॉब्लम है ही नहीं, नो इशू इन नॉट. मतलब इंटरव्यू में अगर आप बिल्कुल ही चुप होकर के आ जाओगे तो भी मिल जाएगा. वैसे सीन हो जाएंगे 500 अगर आप मेंस के अंदर स्कोर कर लेते हैं तो. ठीक है. तो आई होप ये स्ट्रक्चरिंग क्लियर है. ये एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेस रहेंगे फॉर दिस. सो दिस क्लास इज बेसिकली 95 to 100 क्लासेस बेसिकली कॉमन विद दी IES. तो ये क्लास सेपरेट रिकॉर्डेड भी नहीं है, सेपरेट ये सेम क्लास है यार. द एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेस बेसिकली माइक्रो न्यूमेरिकल, मैथ्स, स्टैट्स, इकोनॉमेट्रिक्स, जनरल स्टडीज एंड इंग्लिश. ऑब्वियसली आई विल बी टेकिंग ओनली दिस सेक्शन and rest will be taken by this. I will be taking only this 95 to 100 classes will be common and maybe helping here micro numerical as well. So I will start with the micro class. ठीक है. फर्स्ट क्लास आप लिख लीजिए माइक्रो के लिए. Any confusion here? Remember as far as the source is concerned, so for that source I will be giving you a proper list from which topic you should be covering from which book. For example, suppose you are referring this micro. Now you can read that micro from, there are many books. Micro consumer theory, for consumer theory it is Hallvarian. For production it could be Nicholson Snyder. For market structure it could be Kotsianis. So what you have to do, you have to identify the best source suitable for one particular topic. So read that source only. And obviously in that we will be helping which source you should be reading for which part. So just for example, if when you start with the micro section, within micro, if you are studying or starting with the market structure, then for market structure the ideal source will be Kotsianis, chapter number 5 to chapter number 10, 5 to 10 and then chapter number 13. So effectively 6 to 7 chapter.
Sir, actually जैसा मैंने Nicholson and Snyder mention किया किसी टॉपिक में, तो उसको मैंने पहले देखा है. उसमें कोई भी जो इंटरप्रेट टॉपिक में होता है माइक्रो, अब तो थ्योरी से शुरू होते
मैथमेटिकल में आ जाता है. मैं बस इस चीज़ को बता रहा हूँ. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल suppose you start with the if you start with the market structure part, don't rely only on one book. मतलब don't make a decision कि I have to read either Nicholson Snyder or Kotsianis or Rubinfeld and Pindyck. You have to use that sources intelligently. For example, if it is a numerical part, then for numerical part you should be referring to that Nicholson Snyder. But if it is an analytical part, you have to explain that. Say for example the question is explain Bain's limit theory. Now you will not find it in the Nicholson Snyder, you will find it in the Kotsianis. So you have to use the sources intelligently. कौन से सोर्स को कहाँ से रेफर करना है. So for example, apart from that, there are many examples. Monopolistic competition market. Now monopolistic competition market is there in the Rubinfeld-Pendick also. It is there in the other book also. But the best source which will be closest to that your requirement will be the Koutsanis, because that explains basically what are the different models provided by the Chamberlain. Chamberlain has provided basically model A, model B, model B. Even the popular books like Achal Ahuja, they are not explaining that part. So you have to use various sources, but while using those sources, you have to apply. But how you will apply? By relating from the questions. Whether you are able to address the question or not, that is the main thing. If the question is on a price leadership model, dominant from price leadership model, barometric price leadership model, then also I will suggest it is Koutsanis that is closest to that requirement. So they will be providing you a list, मतलब कौन से टॉपिक को आपको कहाँ से कर लेना है, the ideal source. You may refer to other source, but I will suggest that you should be reading that. So start with the micro, and within micro it will be market structure. Any other concern regarding syllabus? Now start with this market structure part. In this market structure part, whenever I will be writing some technical note side, it means you have to write that note, you have to keep it in your notebook, but it will not be required while answering the question. मतलब वो थोड़ा mathematical आ जाएगा, but it will be not required. That means it is not required that you should be reproducing it, that how you have got that relationship. So those type of topic I will be explaining in under the heading of technical note part. Since we are studying this market structure, first question is, we are studying which market? Is it goods market, product market? किस market की बात conventionally होती है? जब आप कहते हो market structure है, तो in that market we are producing what? Goods. Market can be categorized based upon many criteria, but here we are classifying market based upon number of seller. If there will be only one seller, then market is monopoly. If there will be two sellers, then market is duopoly. If there will be more than one but not large in number, then it is oligopoly. If there are many firms producing identical product, then this is perfect competition. If there are many firms producing differentiated product, then it is monopolistic in nature. But what obviously in that market structure, that means we have to cover perfect competition, we have to cover monopoly market, we have to cover monopolistic competition market as well as oligopoly. So these are the four subtopic from that market structure: perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic and oligopoly. But remember, market will also include subsequently the factor market like labor market. So that will be covered in the theory of distribution. That will be covered as a part of theory of distribution. Now in any market, what is the objective of a firm? Because in a competitive market there will be many firms. In a monopoly market we can say one firm. In monopolistic market again there are many firms. So what is the objective of any firm and how much output they will produce? The objective of any firm is to maximize what? Profit. And profit is, what is profit? Difference of revenue and cost. So it is revenue minus cost. Write this profit symbolically by pi. So profit is equal to TR minus TC, and firm has to maximize this profit. So if firm has to maximize this profit, what is the maximizing condition mathematically? अगर आपको कोई फंक्शन मैक्सिमाइज करना है तो क्या करें? फंक्शन मैक्सिमाइज करना होगा तो उसका फर्स्ट डिफरेंशिएशन इक्वल टू 0 एंड सेकंड डेरिवेटिव नेगेटिव होनी चाहिए. Differentiation means basically you are now differentiating that profit function with respect to quantity, because I have to determine profit maximizing quantity. Firm has to determine profit maximizing quantity. So when you differentiate this profit function, first differentiation should be equal to 0. That means differentiation of TR with respect to quantity, differentiation of total cost with respect to quantity, that first differentiation must be equal to 0. Whenever you differentiate, it is basically derivative means what? Change. So it is change in revenue due to change in quantity. This is change in cost due to change in quantity. And for that change you can call it marginal revenue, because what is marginal? Change in total revenue due to change in additional quantity. What is marginal cost? Change in total cost due to additional quantity. So by differentiating that total you get what? Marginal. So this derivative is marginal and this derivative is marginal cost. So MR minus MC equal to 0. So marginal revenue must be equal to marginal cost. This is your first condition for profit maximization. So when does profit of firm get maximized? The profit of firm get maximized when firm produces that much output where MR becomes equal to MC. And what is the second condition for profit maximization? मतलब function maximize कर रहे हैं तो first differentiation equal to 0 and second derivative negative. So when you differentiate second, it means what? Now you are differentiating MR and differentiating MC, and that should be negative, less than 0. But if this entire number is less than 0, it means what? Which number is greater? Derivative of MC is more. Whenever you differentiate a function, you get slope of that. So when I differentiated TR, I get what? Slope of TR, and slope of TR is what? MR. When you differentiate TC, you get slope of TC, and what is slope of TC? MC. So when I differentiate MR, I will get what? Slope of MR. And when you differentiate MC, you will get slope of MC. But if this entire number is negative, which means derivative of MC is more as compared to derivative of MR, which means slope of marginal cost is greater than slope of marginal revenue. This is your necessary and sufficient condition for profit maximization. So when you answer any question, you will simply say that the profit of a firm get maximized when two conditions are satisfied. First, MR equal to MC, and second, slope of MC greater than slope of MR. So when you answer, then you are using which part? While answering the question, you will say that the profit of any firm, remember, in whether it is competitive, monopoly or oligopoly, in any form of market, profit maximization requires that two conditions must be satisfied. First is MR equal to MC, and second, slope of MC should be greater than slope of MR. Paper don't show it. मतलब आप ये मत समझाओ कि ये कंडीशन आपको कहाँ से आया है, मतलब मैथ्स का लुक नहीं आएगा आपका. It is not required that you are showing that since profit is this, I differentiated that function, thereby I will get this. While answering the question, you will simply write what? The profit get maximized when two conditions are satisfied. First, second. अब आपको ये लेकिन clear है कि हमने लिखा क्यों है? It is for your own consumption, not for showing in the paper. So this will be your note number 1. So remember this point in all the market. Now follow the second note. When you have to explain that profit, I am writing this technical note number 2. ये कर लिया? Second point now. If I write again the equation of profit, it is a revenue minus cost. How to calculate revenue? Total revenue is what? Price multiplied by quantity. Price is always equal to average revenue. Price is always equal to average revenue. बट वाई प्राइस इज इक्वल टू एवरेज रेवेन्यू? कोई भी कंफ्यूजन हो बराबर में नोट लिखते रहना. टोटल रेवेन्यू इज प्राइस मल्टीप्लाइड बाय क्वांटिटी. व्हेनेवर यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट एवरेज, एवरेज मीन्स व्हाट, पर यूनिट निकालना है, तो टोटल रेवेन्यू को क्वांटिटी से डिवाइड कर दिया, टी आर अपॉन क्यू. बट व्हाट इज टी आर? P into Q. So P into Q divided by Q. So Q will cancel out. So average revenue is always equal to price. AR is always equal to price. Just remember that. AR is always equal to price. So in place of that price you wrote average revenue multiplied by quantity. Similarly, how to calculate total cost? Whenever you multiply average with quantity you will get total. So just apply that concept while writing total cost. How to find total cost? How do you get total revenue? Average into quantity. So how you will get total cost? Average cost into quantity. So that will be average cost into quantity. This is profit. Take quantity common, in bracket you will write AR minus AC. This is your profit equation. Now answer one thing. How much quantity firm will produce? This is quantity. How much quantity firm will produce? How you will get this quantity? Firm will always produce that quantity where profit get, and when profit get maximized, where MC is equal to. So when you equate that MC and MR you will get this quantity. By equating that MC and MR you will get this quantity. Now what is the term in bracket? AR minus, and the sign of this term could be positive, could be negative, or it could be 0. So all three possibility exist. For example, if I say average revenue is exactly equal to average cost, then how much is profit? ये term में 0 हो गया. No profit, neither profit nor loss. No profit, no loss is referred as break even point. It is referred as break even point. Neither there is profit nor there is loss. No profit, no loss condition है. That no profit, no loss condition also include the normal profit. No profit, no loss condition also include the normal profit. Means if I say that profit is 0, then 0 profit includes what? Normal. How 0 profit include normal? अगर profit 0 है तो simply बोलें 0 है वो. Why I say that when there is 0 profit it is including normal profit? Because normal profit is included in cost. Normal profit किस में included है? Cost में included है. Since it is included in cost, so if you are covering the cost it means firm is having only normal profit. Just for example, suppose in order to produce a commodity I use labor, land, capital and entrepreneur. ये 4 factor of production हो गए. Labor has to paid wages, land has to be paid rent, capital will get interest. What entrepreneur will get? Profit. तो हमने प्रॉफिट तो कॉस्ट में इंक्लूड कर दिया, ये कॉस्ट में इंक्लूडेड हो गया. तो इफ अ फर्म इज एबल टू रिकवर द कॉस्ट देन फर्म इज गेटिंग नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट. बट इफ यू हैव मोर देन दैट रेवेन्यू देन सुपर नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट हो जाएगा. सुपर नॉर्मल या एबनॉर्मल या एक्सेस कहते हैं उसको. सो इफ AR इज इक्वल टू AC देन देयर इज ब्रेक इवन एंड इट इज normal profit. If AR is greater than AC then profit is more than normal, then you will call it super normal profit. Then it will be super normal profit. Important point is this third point says that if average revenue is less than average cost, then what will happen? If AR is less than AC, AR less AC more, then ये term क्या हो जाएगा? Negative हो गया. But negative profit means loss. Now my question is, if there is loss for a firm, what firm will do? If there is a loss for firm, then what firm will do? It will continue the production or shut down.
In short run it can't shut down, in long run it
Decision of shutdown is also in the short run. Everything occurs in short run. In long run, you have the option to exit from the industry. Shutdown means temporarily closing the production. Shutdown does not mean leaving the business. Shutdown temporarily means you are in the business, but temporarily you prefer to close down the business. So if there is loss, two possibilities exist. In the loss, two possibilities. In loss, there are two possibilities. Firm may continue to operate. Firm may continue to operate despite loss. Firm may continue to operate despite loss. Or firm could shut down the business. Firm may shut down the production. That decision depends upon what? Whether to continue the business or shut down the business. That decision depends upon the fact that whether price is greater than average variable cost or whether price is less than average variable cost. ये दो पॉइंट मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ अभी यहाँ. Within loss, firm may continue to operate if price is greater than average variable cost. Within loss, firm will continue to operate if price will be greater than average variable cost. But if price is less than average variable cost, better to. So your decision whether to operate or not to operate depends upon which cost? Variable cost. It is variable cost which determines. And it is very easy to relate it by just writing this equation. Just remember, firm will operate only if firm get operating profit. Firm तभी तक ऑपरेट करता है जब तक उसे ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट मिलता है. बट व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट? रेवेन्यू माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट ओनली. रेवेन्यू माइनस variable cost only. Operating profit is TR minus TVC. It is TR minus TVC. And what was the overall profit? Overall profit is basically TR minus TC. But when you subtract TC, you subtract variable and fixed both. And here you have subtracted only what? Variable cost. Now, if operating profit is positive, if operating profit is positive, so when operating profit will be positive, it means TR must be greater than TVC then. तभी तो positive रहेगा number. If you divide both sides by quantity, then what you will get? I divided TR by quantity, TVC also by quantity. Then what is TR by quantity? AR. AR means price. And what is TVC by quantity? AVC. So if price is greater than average variable cost, then we have operating profit. That means there is profit in continuing business. Because anyhow, if you shut down the business, you can't avoid the fixed cost. If there will be no class here, I can't avoid the rental cost of here. That is my fixed cost. My decision whether to continue or not does not depend upon the fixed cost, because whether there is class or no class, you have to pay that rent. But whether to continue the class or not to continue the class depends upon variable cost. If the revenue is not even enough to pay the electricity bill, then even the revenue is not enough to pay the electricity bill, which is a variable cost, then better to shut down. Because if you shut down, you will avoid that variable cost also. क्योंकि वो तो production का depend करता है. Variable cost depends upon the production. You will incur that cost if you are in business. You will not incur that cost if you are shutting down the business. So shutdown decision depends upon the operating. So just keep one thing in mind. In loss, when firm will operate? In loss, when firm will operate? In loss, firm will operate only if firm is having, and what does it require? Operating profit require what? Operating profit require that price must be greater than एवरेज वेरिएबल कॉस्ट. तो प्राइस का वेरिएबल कॉस्ट से ज़्यादा होना नेसेसरी है. If price for some reason is below the average variable cost, then if price is below the average variable cost, then firm will shut down. Why Airways closes business? Kingfisher goes, Jet Airways goes. Why? Because they are not able to have what? Even the operating profit. They are not even able to meet that variable cost. So that decision to temporarily shut down the business is guided by the operating profit. So remember, this will be required while answering any question. You have to use it, that concept. So in the case of normal profit, no question, firm will continue in the business. Firm will produce. In the case of supernormal profit, even then there is no problem. Only you have to answer that when there is a loss. So in loss, firm may continue to operate or firm may shut down. So if I ask what is shutdown price, then what is shutdown price? What is shutdown price? If P is greater than ABC, you will continue. If P is less than ABC, you will shut down. So what is exactly shutdown price? Shutdown price is equal to ABC or equal to or less than ABC. But exactly shutdown point अगर कह रहे हैं मतलब 1 point की बात होगी. तो shutdown price is equal to ABC, but ABC is not a constant number. वो तो change होता रहता है. Which value of it? Average variable cost curve. Average variable cost curve will be a U-shaped curve. Value of average variable cost at every point is different. So which price? Minimum. So this minimum of ABC is shutdown price. वो लाइन आप कहीं भी रेफरेंस रजिस्टर में लिख देना. Shutdown price is equal to minimum of average variable cost. Shutdown price is equal to minimum of average variable cost. तो कभी जरूरत पड़ेगी तो कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो. Minimum of ABC निकालना है. तो how to solve that? If a cost function is given, in that cost function can you identify which one is variable cost? If a cost function is given, can you identify what is variable cost? Variable cost will be those costs which depend upon quantity, and what is fixed? जो quantity के ऊपर depend नहीं करता. Like for example, if I say total cost is equal to A plus BQ square प्लस कोई और वैल्यू भी लिख सकते हैं आगे. तो व्हाट इज वेरिएबल कॉस्ट हियर? ये वेरिएबल कॉस्ट हो गया. सो वी आर एबल टू डिटरमाइन हाउ मच इज द वेरिएबल कॉस्ट. फ्रॉम दैट वेरिएबल कॉस्ट यू कैन कैलकुलेट एवरेज वेरिएबल. दैट विल बी टोटल वेरिएबल बाय क्वांटिटी. देन यू हैव टू मिनिमाइज इट. सो हाउ टू मिनिमाइज? Differentiate that function with respect to Q and equate it to 0. Thereby you are able to minimize you will get basically the quantity at which ABC get minimized. And when you substitute that quantity into ABC, you will get the minimum point of ABC value. तो वो सारे टॉपिक आप अभी later on के लिए रखेगा जब when we will be using it for calculation. But here in the first class, just remember what is shutdown price? Minimum point of average variable cost. When firm will shut down when total revenue is less than total variable cost. When firm will continue to operate despite loss when total revenue is more than total variable cost. So this is your second note which will be required. और ये this does not depend upon any market, that you will say that this is happening in perfect competition or monopoly. It will occur in all the market. So it will be the basic concept for the entire market unit. Price may be uniform, may not be uniform, but the idea will remain same. Now whether price will remain same or depend upon the market, but this concept is independent from market. In any market you have to apply that concept, whether it is monopoly or monopolistic or perfect competition. Clear? Now if you have to answer this question, just write down few parts.
At the price greater than the shutdown price, the firm can shut down.
Price greater than average variable cost.
If price is greater than shutdown price, then also the firm can shut down.
Why?
Because that means it's equal to AVC and AVC can be greater, right? So it can be greater than the zero value.
If this value is if this average variable cost is given, this is the price which is referred as shutdown price. This is the price of shutdown. If price is more than that, firm will not shut down. If price will be lower than this, only then firm will shut down, or equal to that. Equal to, basically firm may or may not continue. Any price lower than that, firm will shut down. Any price above, firm will not shut down, because if you shut down, you will, remember there is loss in both cases, but if you shut down you will have a greater loss, and if you continue to remain in business you will have a loss but a lesser loss, because shut down karne pe actually you are, when a total revenue minus total variable cost, if I say this number is positive, so it means what? If it is positive, it means you have met your variable cost and you have more revenue than that. If you have more revenue than that, it means you are partly covering your fixed cost also. और अगर बंद कर दें प्रोडक्शन तो रेवेन्यू ज़ीरो हो जाएगा, फिर इंटायर फिक्स कॉस्ट का लॉस हो जाएगा. ठीक है, अगर प्रोडक्शन बंद कर देंगे तो इंटायर फिक्स कॉस्ट का लॉस हो जाएगा, और प्रोडक्शन कर रहे हैं तो कंप्लीट फिक्स कॉस्ट का लॉस नहीं हो रहा, बिकॉज यू आर पार्टली ऑफसेटिंग दैट फिक्स कॉस्ट एज वेल. नाउ इन टर्म्स ऑफ आंसर, मेक दिस हेडिंग in register, write down this: price output determination. Price output determination. The firm is in equilibrium. The firm is in equilibrium. Remember, we are studying this first market, which is perfect competition. The firm is in equilibrium when it maximizes its profit. The firm is in equilibrium when it maximizes its profit, which is defined as difference between total revenue and total cost. Total revenue and total cost. Symbolically लिख देंगे pi is TR minus TC, pi for profit. Next paragraph. Given that normal rate of profit, is included in cost of firm, after comma, profit is above the normal rate of return. Profit is above the normal rate of return. Profit is above the normal rate of return. Next paragraph. Equilibrium of firm equilibrium of firm can be shown graphically. Equilibrium of firm can be shown graphically. In two ways. First, TR and TC approach. And second, Mrmc approach. So there are two different approaches to explain equilibrium. One is TRTC and the other is MRMC. Now the first one, TRTC approach. We are explaining this first part. TRTC approach. Now just consider this graph. First of all, if I write here quantity and on vertical axis it is TR and TC. You have to draw that TR and TC. Under perfect competition market, price of the product will remain. Who determine price in the market? Market competitive hai. So who determine price? Market forces, that is demand and supply. One firm can't affect price. One firm can't affect the market price. So for a particular firm, price of the product remains same. So price is, let us say, same. It will remain same. At same price, firm can sell 1 unit, 2 unit or 3 units. So what will be the total revenue then? 10, 20, 30. How to plot it then? What will be the shape of TR curve then? Straight line ho jayega. Because price constant hai. There will be a linear relationship. So this total revenue curve will be a straight line. You may take it steeper or you may draw it flatter, because that depends upon price. But whatever be the price, that price will remain constant. So this straight line is total revenue. Now draw the total cost. Total cost has how many components? 2, fixed and variable. What is the meaning of fixed? Even when production will be 0, there will be fixed cost. So even when quantity produced is 0, there will be a fixed cost. So this gap is basically showing presence of fixed cost. Rest is variable. So as production will increase, variable cost will increase. So total cost curve starting from that point, total cost curve generally is inverted U in shape. And it is inverted U in shape because of diminishing return in production. But for this class it will be just enough that you write that total cost curve is inverted S in shape. Now what does this point indicate? यहाँ पे TR और TC की इक्वालिटी होगी तो प्रॉफिट 0. Here also TR equal to TC, here also profit is 0. We have to determine profit maximizing condition. So where profit is maximized, which area is profit here? Any quantity to the left loss, to the right also loss, in between there will be profit, and the profit needs to be maximized. Profit is basically this gap. So the quantity at which this gap is maximized is the profit maximizing quantity. So just mark a point where you find that gap maximum. So this will be the quantity where profit, that is pi, get maximized. This is the quantity where profit get maximized. But is second approach supporting the first approach? ये दोनों approach एक ही हैं, अलग अलग explain करने का तरीका है बस. Can we say that at this quantity MR is also equal to MC? Can we say MR equal to MC? It must be, because else there will be no equilibrium. It must be, MR must be equal to MC. So can we say that at this quantity MR is equal to MC? You have not drawn that MR on MC, but we know one thing. slope of TR is MR and slope of TC is MC. TR is straight line, its slope will remain same. But what is the slope of TC? TC is not linear, so its slope will vary at every point. If I want to find slope at this point, then how to find slope? You have to draw a tangency, and remember, when you draw that tangency will be necessarily parallel to the TR line, indicating what? Slope of both are same at that point, which means MR is equal to MC at that quantity. So profit maximizing quantity will be this. This will be the profit maximizing quantity. So when you explain that, you have to justify why you have drawn that TR line straight, why we have drawn this total cost curve inverted S, and at what quantity profit get maximized. Now apply this concept to show loss condition. Apply this concept to show loss condition. Then I will show the question in paper what is required. What will be the condition? Right now we are discussing what? Rtc approach. We have not drawn MR or MC. Mrmc approach will come later. But this is the diagram for supernormal profit. Use this concept to explain loss. So if I draw total revenue line straight, first thing, when there will be a loss, loss will be there only when total revenue is less than total cost. But in loss when firm operate, when TR is more than TVC, so that operating profit will be there. So since we have to show loss, so TR must be less than TC, but that TR must be greater than total variable cost. How to plot in a graph? This condition have to plot in graph. So you have drawn that TR, TC must be above, but TVC must be below. Total cost will start with a positive intercept, but that total cost must be above. When I say above, it means it should be above throughout. If there would be profit, it needs to be maximized, but if there is loss, then it needs to be minimized. So where the gap is minimum, where the gap is least, ये gap आ जाएगा. So this will be the gap where gap is minimized. Can we say MR equal to MC again? Yes, again. Slope of TR is MR, and when you draw tangency at that point, again it will be parallel to that TR line. So this must be the quantity. But how we can show that despite loss firm is operating? How we can show? Because if there will be shutdown, then you have to say quantity 0. How we can show that at that quantity firm is having operating profit? So for operating profit, which value should be less? Variable cost should be less. So draw that variable cost also. आपको डायग्राम में ये समझाना है कि लॉस में फर्म ऑपरेट कर रहा है, तभी तो हम क्वांटिटी मार्क करेंगे. अगर ऑपरेट ही नहीं करेंगे तो क्वांटिटी 0 हो जाएगी. सो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम ओरिजिन, बिकॉज वो वेरिएबल है. क्वांटिटी 0, देन वेरिएबल कॉस्ट 0. स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम दैट ओरिजिन पैरेलल टू दैट टोटल कॉस्ट लाइन, you have to show in this way. This will be your total variable cost. Now if I mark A point, this is point B and this is point C. So in diagram, what is loss? In diagram, what is loss? Loss is AB. But in loss, firm is operating because firm is having operating profit. What is operating profit here? BC. BC is operating profit. ठीक है? So this is loss, but in loss firm is continuing to operate. make this as diagram 1, take this as diagram number 2, and what will be the diagram for normal profit? What will be normal profit? Many students commit the same mistake, they use this diagram only, और इसी में क्या करते हैं, ये कहते हैं नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट हो गया, ये भी नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट हो गया, ये प्रॉफिट हो गया, और लेफ्ट और राइट वाला शो कर देते लॉस. वो गलत है पूरा, because this is the diagram only for one particular purpose, that is super normal, that will be for loss. So when we will have a normal profit, for normal profit only tangency. So now TC should not be below nor above, it should be only touching it, tangent होना चाहिए. So draw these two first, and now you can see the question.
What is the reason for the DC to be inverted as well?
It is basically any cost curve is decided from production. So in the production there will be diminishing return. So in this paper obviously relationship require elaboration, but you will simply say that it is inverted as in shape because of diminishing production. प्रोडक्शन में डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न होगा तो कॉस्ट का शेप इन्वर्टेड एस इन शेप होगा. इन्वर्टेड एस मीन्स बेसिकली इनिशियली इट विल इंक्रीज एट डिक्रीजिंग रेट एंड देन इट विल इंक्रीज एट increasing rate, because in production what happens, in production initially they will be increasing return and then they will be a diminishing return. ये उसका mirror image होगा, opposite है. Now just answer this question. This is the question in 2017. देखिए क्वेश्चन जरा, ठीक है. इकोनॉमिक सर्विस में ये 2017 का क्वेश्चन है पेपर 1 के अंदर. एंड दिस क्वेश्चन इज, रीड दिस वन. F. Consider the equilibrium of a firm. Consider the equilibrium of a firm under perfect competition. Consider the equilibrium of a firm under perfect competition. Find out the condition for normal profit, supernormal profit or loss, whichever is applicable for the firm, without using average cost curve, and explain only diagrammatically. मतलब कोई वैल्यूज वगैरह यूज नहीं करना, you have to show only diagrammatically without using what? Average cost curve. So without using average cost curve you have to show it graphically. Now that was the question for 5 marks there. तो without using average cost curve क्यों लिखा है? अगर हमारे पास एवरेज ड्रॉ करने का लिबर्टी नहीं है, now you are left with only one choice. You have to use Rtc approach, because in that Rtc we have not drawn average. When you will draw Mrmc you have to use that ASC also. तो क्वेश्चन ने आपको रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रखा है कि क्या बनाना है, ओनली Rtc approach you can apply. You can apply only that Rtc approach. This was in 2017. ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन 17 में मिला ES में, और यही क्वेश्चन 15 में है AS में, फर्स्ट वन 14th. Under perfect competition in short run, find out graphically without using average cost curve the condition for existence of normal, supernormal and loss. ये क्वेश्चन यहाँ 10 नंबर का है, वहाँ 5 नंबर का. ये डिपेंड्स, वो 250 नंबर का पेपर होता है, ये 200 का पेपर होता है. कंटेंट आपको वही लिखना है, क्वेश्चन में कोई चेंज. तो अगर किसी ने AS का पेपर दिया बट उसने पास पेपर में AS का पेपर अगर रिवाइज कर रखा है तो क्वेश्चन तो ये बन जाएंगे, एज इट इज मिल जाना वो क्वेश्चन. यू विल फाइंड मेनी, not 1 or 2. ठीक है, तो सेम क्वेश्चन इज देयर. सो व्हेन यू आंसर दैट you have drawn basically 2 condition, and now draw the third condition. ठीक है, टॉपिक वाइज जो क्वेश्चन होगा वो दोनों अवेलेबल होगा आपके पास, चाहे आप ES का एग्जाम लिखो या AS का, बट ये दोनों क्वेश्चन आपके पास होने चाहिए रेफरेंस के लिए. सो राइट डाउन अप टू दिस. Next paragraph में the total revenue curve is straight line. The total revenue curve is straight line through the origin. The total revenue curve is a straight line through the origin. Total revenue curve is a straight line through the origin, showing that price is constant. Showing that price is constant at all levels of output. Price is constant at all levels of output. Price is constant at all levels of output. So the firm is price taker. The firm is price taker and it can sell. The firm is price taker and it can sell any amount of output. It can sell any amount of output at current market price. At current market price. Full stop. The slope of TR is MR. The slope of TR is MR. The slope of TR is MR and it is a constant and equal to existing market price. Constant and equal to existing market price. Therefore, under perfect competition, MR equal to AR equal to price. Under perfect competition, MR equal to AR equal to price. Below that, next paragraph. The total cost curve is inverted S in shape. Total cost curve is inverted S in shape. Due to law of variable proportion. Due to law of variable proportion. When we will explain that law, it will become clear why it is inverted S in shape. The firm maximizes profit when distance between TR and TC is maximized. Distance between TR and TC is maximized. Stop. At any other level of output, profit is not maximized. At any other level of output, profit is not maximized. As shown in diagram 1, this first one, as shown in diagram 1, since distance between TR and TC is positive, distance between TR and TC is positive. Distance between TR and TC is positive. So, competitive firm is earning supernormal profit. Competitive firm is earning supernormal profit. Next paragraph. However, in short run, there could be loss. In short run there could be loss for competitive firm. There could be loss for competitive firm when total cost is greater than total revenue. When total cost is greater than total revenue. But firm may continue to operate. Firm may continue to operate despite loss. Firm may continue to operate despite loss if total revenue is greater than total variable cost. If total revenue is greater than total variable cost, because in that case firm will earn operating profit. In that case firm will earn operating profit. In that case firm will earn operating profit. Bracket mein diagram 2. You are showing that condition in diagram 2. Next paragraph. However, when total cost is tangent on total revenue, then there will be only normal profit for firm. There will be only normal profit for firm. There will be only normal profit for firm. नॉर प्रॉफिट के लिए डायग्राम होगा. डायग्राम 3. Done. So this was your approach number 1, TR and TC, but we have an alternate approach also, and that alternate approach is MR and MC. One point, if the same question, if you replace that word perfect competition by monopoly, then how your answer will be different. In the same question, everything else is same. I just substitute that or replace that word perfect competition with monopoly. Consider the equilibrium of firm under monopoly. Find out same thing. Again you are using Rtc approach. So what will be the differentiating factor now? The TR will not be a straight line now. Under perfect competition only the TR will be straight line. But if there will be a monopoly, if it will be a monopoly, then your total revenue curve will be in this form, and then you draw that total cost curve inverted S in shape. The gap between TR and TC has to be maximized. So this is the quantity your profit get maximized, and slope of TC equal to slope of TR. MR equal to MC भी होगा. So that will be the only differentiating factor. Monopoly में line straight नहीं बनानी है. Remember, since marking is tough, तो in case वो mistake भी नहीं चलता है. यहाँ 5 नंबर का क्वेश्चन ही है. In IES it was just 5 marks question. In that you may get 4 also, 3.5. अगर perfect बनाओगे तो भी 3.5 में मिलेगा. It is not like CBSE marking यानी कि 5 out of 5 हो गया. It will be perfect, then also you are getting at the maximum 70%. So if you draw those condition and this condition, then but if by mistake you show that total revenue ki line you have drawn that non-linear, then it will be altogether a wrong diagram. Clear? Now write down the second approach, MR equal to MC. No, why not? By how you can use this approach, MRMC. Question says you don't have to use. Question nahi likhega, then you are free to do, no problem. Now how much you will write in that case, it all depends upon what is the weightage of question and how much time you have. Generally question is never ambiguous, it is always specific. Question will have a certain need. So how much you have to write, basically that depends upon the weightage. The alternate approach is MRN MC approach. MRN MC approach. Right, and the alternative approach is based on MR and MC. The alternative approach is based on MR and MC. The profit will be maximized when following condition is satisfied. The profit will be maximized when following condition is satisfied. Following condition is satisfied. So what were the conditions? MR equal to MC, and second, slope of MC greater than slope of MR. Now don't derive it, just write those conditions. Now when you apply that concept, now we will draw a diagram for one for market and the other for firm. What happens that prices are determined in the market by market demand and supply. But whatever be the price determined in market, that price remains same for all the firm. So firm can sell more quantity at the same price. So this is your AR as well as your MR. Clear? Using average cost curve because the approach is MR and MC. If you draw that average cost curve which is U-shape passing through the minimum point of average will be the marginal cost curve always. So where this condition is satisfied, इक्वालिटी ग्राफिकली कहाँ पे satisfy हो रहा है, जहाँ पे intersection होगा MR and MC. So MC and MR are intersecting at this quantity. So this is the profit maximizing quantity. Identify the area of profit. Identify the area of profit. Remember, profit is nothing but TR minus TC. And how you calculate TR? P into Q. So this is the price, this is the quantity. Multiply, then you will get this rectangle. That will be the area of revenue. What is the area of total cost? Total cost from this diagram. For TR you multiplied price with the quantity. For total cost you multiply average cost with quantity. Per unit into quantity. So quantity is this. How much is average cost? For this quantity, average cost is this. So this quantity multiplied by this, you will get this area. So this total rectangle is basically revenue. This one is a cost. So this gap is profit. So this is the area of profit. This will be the area of profit. So when you apply that MRMC, this will be your first diagram for profit. But answer expect you to elaborate more. Why firm is not producing more than that? Explain that. ये तो बहुत एलिमेंट्री स्कूल लेवल का डिस्क्रिप्शन हो गया, आपने ग्राफ बना दिया. वाई फर्म इज नॉट प्रोड्यूसिंग मोर. So what will happen? If firm produces more than that quantity, remember, for any quantity more than that, the marginal revenue is less and marginal cost is more. What does it imply? By producing more quantity, firm will add more to cost and less to revenue. By producing more, firm is in fact adding more to cost and less to revenue. So if you add more to your cost and less to your revenue, it means you are reducing your own profit. So it is unprofitable to produce more than that. Why not firm stop before it? इस क्वांटिटी से पहले प्रोडक्शन क्यों नहीं बंद करते? Because if you stop here, then at that point MR is more and MC is less, which means what? If you produce more, you will add more to revenue and less to cost, so it is profitable to do so. So you are expected to explain that in a brief paragraph. Rather, just you have specified that condition and just explain one at least, and rest you can draw just only diagram. Write down. The firm is in equilibrium. The firm is in equilibrium at the level of output. The firm is in equilibrium at the level of output defined by intersection of MR and MC. Intersection of MR and MC. So to the left of quantity Q star, each unit of output, to the left of quantity Q star, each unit of output is adding more to revenue. Each unit of output is adding more to revenue and less to cost. More to revenue and less to cost. Within bracket, MR greater than MC. So profit can be increased. By producing more output. Profit can be increased by producing more output. Next paragraph. The fact that firm is in equilibrium, does not necessarily mean that it makes excess profit. This depends on level of average total cost. And price. Full stop. In short run, if price is greater than average total cost, then there will be supernormal profit. In bracket just write diagram 1. आंसर में यू डोंट हैव टू एक्सप्लेन, मतलब आंसर का प्रेजेंटेशन ऐसे नहीं रखना है कि एज वी कैन सी इन द डायग्राम फर्म इज प्रोड्यूसिंग क्वांटिटी क्यू स्टार, प्राइस इज पी स्टार एंड सो ऑन. डायग्राम सिर्फ आपको शो कर देना, ड्रॉ कर देना, इसको एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना. मतलब इट इज़ नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड एट दिस लेवल. अगर आप ग्राफ को एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं, ग्राफ हम बनाते हैं उसको जस्ट शो करने, यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन बेसिकली द रीजनिंग बिहाइंड इट. जो इंट्यूटिव लॉजिक होगा वो आप एक्सप्लेन करोगे. नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. However, if price is greater than or rather less than, if price is less than average total cost, if price is less than average total cost, if price is less than average total cost, then there will be loss. Then there will be loss. But despite loss, firm will continue to operate. Despite loss, firm will continue to operate if it covers variable cost. If it covers variable cost, मतलब P greater than ABC होना चाहिए. That is P greater than ABC. Otherwise, firm will prefer to shut down. Otherwise, firm will prefer to shut down. Firm will prefer to shut down. The price, or rather the point at which firm just covers its variable cost, the point at which firm just covers its variable cost is called shutdown point. Is called shutdown point. So if you have to show loss, then demand supply intersection will determine the price. This price will remain same. Now where will be average cost and where will be average variable cost? P greater than ABC, but P should be less than AC. You have to show this. So how to use this diagram now? You will draw entire average cost curve above, just as you draw total cost curve above. Now average is above, but which must be below? ABC should be below. So that average variable cost will be below and the gap will narrow down between these two. And passing through the minimum of both, what you will draw? Marginal cost curve. So where is the profit maximizing quantity now? We are studying Mrmc approach. So first satisfy that condition. Mr equal to MC. Mr equal to MC at this point. So mark that quantity first. Mr equal to MC. So this is the quantity where Mr equal to MC is satisfied. Which area is lost now? This is the area of revenue, which is the area of cost. For cost you multiply this quantity with the average cost, then you get this rectangle. This is the overall cost. Since cost is more, revenue is less, therefore this area is the area of loss. And what is the area of operating profit? In that diagram it was distance only, not area. Here it will be the area. So operating profit is what? This is the total revenue. What? From that total revenue I have to subtract only variable cost. So quantity multiplied by variable cost. So this is the area of operating profit. ये operating profit का area. This will be the area of operating profit. अब आप ये बताओ कि if this operating profit area get reduced, then what will happen? If that operating profit area get reduced, which may occur in two cases. One, price may fall down or cost may increase. दोनों condition हो सकते हैं. So if price will fall, then the operating profit area will get reduced. If price falls so much that it is just tangent on the average variable cost, then operating profit will be reduced to zero. So any price fall below that, there will be no production, firm will shut down. So firm will continue to operate so long as this area is visible, operating profit area. So if this price reduces, and it reduces so much that it is just touching at the minimum point, then operating profit will also reduce to zero, and after that firm will shut down the bill. So that idea I will use to explain this topic. ये diagram draw कर लेना बस. Marginal cost curve is supply curve of competitive firm in short run. Make this heading. You have to explain that. Marginal cost curve is supply curve of a competitive firm in the short run. Why we say that marginal cost curve is the supply curve of competitive firm in short run? Two things are here required now. In this part I will explain supply curve of firm. Supply curve of firm in short run. And subsequently I will explain supply curve of industry in long run. तो ये दो चीज़ें भी करनी है बस. Supply curve, we have to draw supply curve, but one supply curve for firm, another supply curve for industry. One in short run, other in the long run. So this is basically short run description. Make this heading. Marginal cost is supply curve of competitive firm in short run. Marginal cost curve is supply curve of competitive firm in short run. Remember, when you use the word short run or long run, what does that mean? माइक्रो में इसका मतलब क्या होता है? शॉर्ट रन मीन्स व्हाट? If you are writing short run, it means what? Or long run means what? It has nothing to do with that 1 day, 2 day or 1 week. Short run is that period where some factors are fixed and firms cannot enter into the market nor they can leave the market. That means entry और exit कब होगी मार्केट में? लॉन्ग रन के अंदर होती है. Short run is that period where some factors are fixed and firms can't enter or leave the market. And long run is that period where everything is variable and firms can leave or enter into the market. So entry exit is the property of long run, not of short run. Since we are explaining short run, so there will be no entry and exit right now. You can use one diagram for the market and remaining two is basically for firm. Remember, the focus is on firm. We are explaining the firm. So if easy है, step by देखना. Suppose there is demand and given supply curve. Then what is the market price? Intersection determines the price. Suppose this price is P3. So at that price, how much will be the quantity produced? This will be your MR line. If I draw average cost curve and below it you draw average variable cost curve, passing through the minimum of both is marginal cost. So how much quantity firm will supply? Focus on this part, supply curve. So at price P3, how much quantity firm will produce and supply? Firm will always produce how much quantity? That quantity where its own profit get. And what is profit maximizing condition? MR equal to, so just equate that. So at price P3, MR equal to MC at this point. Mark that point E3. So firm will be producing quantity Q3. Clear? If you have to plot that point only, at price P3, firm is supplying quantity Q3. This is the point. I plotted point E3 here. So I have one relationship now. I have one particular relationship. Supply curve is supposed to explain relation between price and quantity. So what will be the relationship? I will have to derive it. Now if this supply curve is not positioned here, rather supply curve is positioned here. Deliberately I mark कर रहा हूँ, जरा ध्यान दीजिएगा इस पे. Suppose supply curve has shifted. It may shift because of any reason. I am not saying entry and exit is the reason. It may shift because of other reason. So if supply curve was not placed here but it was placed here, then what will be the outcome? Then this will be the price. Take that price deliberately in between these two curves, AC and ABC. So if price is P2, then how much is what is the profit maximizing quantity? If price is P2, then MR is this number, where MC is equal to MR. MC equal to MR at this point. So now at price P2, profit maximizing quantity will be Q2. जरा ग्राफ को देख के बताइएगा. At that quantity and price, firm is having profit or loss? Loss. But despite loss, firm will operate because there is operating profit. So firm will produce in fact. So if firm is producing quantity at price P2, then you just plotted that point Q2, you get second point. But if this price falls below, then further below, then and it has fallen so much that now it is just tangent on that ABC. So if price is P1, which may happen if supply curve would have been this, then at that price P1 what will happen? MC equal to MR at that quantity. Quantity will be Q1 in that condition. So this is the point of shutdown. So at any price below P1 what will happen? At any price below P1, no production. That means quantity supply is 0. So where you will plot that 0? At any price below P1, supply will be 0. At any price below P1, supply will be 0. So you can plot it by coinciding with the vertical axis. On vertical axis, the value of x-axis will be 0. So any price below P1, supply will be 0. At price P1, supply could be Q1 or it could be 0 also. But if price is more, then there will be supply. So if you connect all those points, then you get supply curve. But just relate it with this diagram. This point is which point in this diagram? E3. This is the point of E2, you can say, or mark here point E2. This is the point of E1. So by joining E1, E2 and E3, by joining E1, E2 and E3, we get which line? MC line. So marginal cost curve is supply curve, but not the entire marginal cost curve. Which part of MC? मार्जिनल कॉस्ट कर्व तो यहाँ भी है, ये भी है, बट ये सप्लाई कर्व का पार्ट नहीं होगा. सो विच पार्ट ऑफ एमसी इज सप्लाई कर्व? ओनली दैट पार्ट ऑफ एमसी विच इज अबव द वेरिएबल कॉस्ट लाइन, which is above the variable cost. only that part of marginal cost curve is the supply curve. So usually you say marginal cost curve is supply curve, but you put condition there. It is only that part of MC which is positively sloped and lies above the average variable cost curve. Only that part. So this left side diagram you can ignore. ये मैंने relate करने के लिए बनाया था. In paper you have to use only these two. But if you have a space you can draw this also. Remember, this question has also been asked, but in a different format. This will be the answer in a competitive market. In competitive market we say supply curve is marginal cost curve. Same question we will ask in monopoly also. Whether monopolists also have a supply curve? Then the answer will become no. Monopolists do not have the supply curve. But perfect competition mein firm has a supply curve. So long as your average is declining, marginal must be below it, less than that. And if your marginal is more than your average, then it will pull the average, that means it will pull it upward. Just a simple example. Suppose a student is scoring in English, GS and General Economics one part an average of 80%. तो ये जो परसेंटेज मार्क्स होता है ये एवरेज है या मार्जिनल है? 80, I said in all three 80%. It means what? It is average. The idea of marginal is the additional. So if I make General Economics second paper as additional, so when this average will improve, बढ़ेगा कब वो? जब इसमें 80 से ज़्यादा है और 80 से कम आया तो इसका मतलब है जो होता है जब अगर AC कम हो रहा है इसका मतलब यू आर एडिंग लेस, तो MC की वैल्यू से कम होगी. जब तक एवरेज कम हो रहा है MC की वैल्यू उसके कम है, लोअर है. एंड व्हेन AC इज राइजिंग इट मीन्स नाउ यू आर एडिंग मोर, तो एवरेज विल राइज. हाँ, वो सिंपल लॉजिक होता है उसका. Write down one paragraph. Supply curve explains a relationship between price and quantity supplied. For a competitive firm, marginal cost curve is supply curve. For a competitive firm, marginal cost curve is supply curve. In short run, marginal cost curve is supply curve in short run, but it is not the entire marginal cost curve. It is not the entire marginal cost curve. In fact, it is only that part. It is only that part of marginal cost curve. Only that part of marginal cost curve. which lies above average variable cost, which lies above average variable cost. Underline that. It is only that part of marginal cost curve which lies above average variable cost. This is because when marginal cost is, this is because when marginal cost is less than ABC, when marginal cost is less than ABC, इसकी बात हो रही है, when marginal cost is less than ABC, then equating price with MC, equating price with MC implies that price will be less than ABC, imply that price will be less than ABC, price will be less than ABC. Full stop. This means there will be operating loss. This means there will be operating loss. There will be operating loss. And therefore firm will not produce any output. Firm will not produce any output. As a result, quantity supplied will be zero. As a result, quantity supplied will be zero. ठीक है. So marginal cost curve is supply curve of firm in short run. So this is about firm and short run. Keyword is that. The same question is basically, the other part is that what is the market supply curve or competitive long run supply curve. Cover one more topic. Long run industry supply curve. Long run industry supply curve. Long run industry मतलब market. Long run industry supply curve under perfect competition. Long run industry supply curve under perfect competition. Now just before writing you this was the question paper of economic service in 2015, and in that read question number 7. Derive the long run supply curve in the constant cost industry under perfect competition. Under what condition can long run supply curve of competitive industry slope downward? So this is 6 plus 9, 15 marks का question है. So you have to derive long run supply curve in the constant cost industry for perfect competition market. So keyword is long run supply curve and for industry. आपको industry के लिए supply draw करना है. That means we are not to explain it for firm. So what is the meaning of long run here? Firms can enter. So if firms can enter or leave the market, then that entry and exit will continue, so that firms attain only normal profit, because in the case of loss they will leave the market. In the case of supernormal profit, firms will enter into that market. तो ये entry exit कब तक होता रहेगा? जब तक firms के पास only normal profit ना बचे. So entry and exit will be there. And what is the meaning of constant cost industry? Can it be sloped downward? Because generally supply curve we consider it to be positively. So what is the constant cost industry and this? और ये क्वेश्चन दोनों में अगेन, फिर ये क्वेश्चन आप ऑप्शनल वाले पार्ट में अंदर भी मिल जाएगा क्वेश्चन. लॉन्ग रन इंडस्ट्री सप्लाई कर्व अंडर परफेक्ट कंपटीशन. तो जस्ट कीप दिस आइडिया. इन लॉन्ग रन all firms must be having only normal profit. But normal profit require what? कब होता है normal profit? When price is exactly equal to average cost. जब TRTC पे टेंजेंट था तो P इक्वल टू एवरेज कॉस्ट होना चाहिए. एंड if there will be supernormal profit, then firms will enter into the market. In the case of loss, firms will leave the market. So just explain this part first. Left side diagram is for perfect competition industry, and right side I am using it for firm. वेरिएबल इन द सेंस, हाँ ऑल फैक्टर ज़्यादातर केस में वेरिएबल कंसिडर करते हैं. लॉन्ग रन का मतलब एक्चुअल में ये होता है. सो व्हेन आई ड्रॉ वन डिमांड कर्व एंड सप्लाई कर्व, दिस इज द क्वांटिटी supplied at price P1, that price will remain same for all firms, and because you have to show normal profit, so average cost must be just tangent here, and from that minimum point you can draw MC. This is the quantity produced by firm and this is the quantity produced by industry. This is the quantity produced by one firm and this is the quantity produced by entire markets. How you get this quantity usually? One firm की quantity ये है, total quantity ये है. So if one firm has produced a particular quantity, I will multiply it by number of firm to get the entire quantity. We have to draw supply curve for industry here. अब जरा step पे ध्यान देना, अभी copy नहीं करना, just wait. Because this is basically a long run description, it is a dynamic aspect. Dynamic in the sense, suppose demand curve shifts, that means market expands. Now demand curve can shift because of any region. There is economic growth in the country, GDP increases, per capita income increases. As income increases, demand curve will shift to the right. Or taste of preference changes, demand curve again shifts to the right. Now if demand curve has shifted to the right, then what is the effect on price? That price will increase. As price increases, remember earlier price was equal to average cost. You started with that point. But now as price has increased, it will become greater than average cost. As it will become greater than average cost, in short run firms can't enter, but in long run firms can. So what will be the behavior in short run? As price increases at a higher price, firm produces more quantity. But which firms are producing more quantity? Those firms which are already there in the market. वो तो प्रोडक्शन ज़्यादा करेंगे, अपनी क्वांटिटी बढ़ा देंगे. But since it is a long run description, you will say that as price exceed average cost, it will be creating supernormal profit. Due to that supernormal profit, there will be entry of firms. Now as firms will enter, two things will occur. As firms will enter, two things will occur. First, as more firms will enter, it will shift the supply curve right side because there are more firms in the market. But now think, when firms will enter into the market, they have entered into the market to produce goods, but before producing goods they require input. So what will be the effect on demand for input? Input like labor, land, machinery. Earlier there were number of firms less in number, now there are more firms. So what will be the effect on demand for input? That will also increase. When demand for input increases, what will be the effect on price of that input? If you say rise, it means the cost of production will be higher then. So that industry will be increasing cost industry because input has become expensive. So cost of production has gone up. So it will be an example of increasing cost industry. If the price of input remains same, then cost will not change, then it is a constant cost industry. एंड इफ द प्राइस ऑफ इनपुट डिक्रीजेज देन, वो ज़्यादा इलॉजिकल आपको अभी लग रहा होगा कि डिक्रीज कैसे हो गया, इनपुट का डिमांड तो बढ़ा था तो प्राइस डिक्रीज कैसे हो गया इनपुट का. बट इफ इट डिक्रीजेज देन cost decreases, then it will be called decreasing cost industry. Industries are of three types. It may be increasing cost industry, it may be a constant cost industry, it may be a decreasing cost industry. There are examples of all three. Like for example, mobile industries, increasing cost, decreasing cost. Number of firms over a period of time, whether it's a mobile handset, they have increased over a period of time. But what about the cost? Gone up or gone down? Gone down. So it is an example of decreasing cost industry because of technological changes. The cost has reduced. So it is basically an example of decreasing cost industry. What about the real estate? Houses, cheaper or expensive over a period of time? Expensive. So you can say it is an example of increasing cost industry. So you may find some example of increasing or decreasing or constant cost industry. You have to explain all three cases. In that question, two cases were required, but there is a third case also. So if new firms will enter into the market, two things will occur. The supply curve will shift to the right. But whether this average cost curve will shift or not, that will depend upon the nature of industry. If it is a constant cost industry, the cost curve will remain same. If it is increasing cost industry, then it will shift. Increasing cost means what? जो क्वांटिटी पहले प्रोड्यूस कर रहे थे उसके लिए जितना कॉस्ट आ रहा था अब कॉस्ट उससे ज़्यादा आएगा. That means this cost curve will shift up. And if it is a decreasing cost, then it will shift down. So this average cost may go up, this average cost may go down, or this may remain same. So when it will remain same? Constant cost industry. When it will go up? Increasing cost. And when it will go down? Decreasing cost. So there are three cases. If I use this diagram for constant cost industry, then explain the process first. If it is a constant cost industry, that means I will not shift average cost curve. So if average cost curve will not shift, what is the impact of entry of firm? Cost curve remains same, but due to entry the supply curve will shift to the right. As the supply curve will shift to the right, price will fall and it must return back to same original level. Can it fall go further? नहीं हो सकता. अगर आप इसको और फर्दर ले आओगे तो ये प्राइस और नीचे चला जाएगा, फिर यहाँ लॉस हो जाएगा. लॉस होने पे फिर से एग्जिट शुरू हो जाएगी. So this supply curve will shift to the right and it will shift exactly by this magnitude. This will be the final point and we started with this point. Because it is long run description and in long run firms must have normal profit, because if there will be super normal profit, new firms will entering, and in the case of loss, firms will continue to leave the market. So this point can't be the point of long run equilibrium, because at that point they were having profit. So they were normal profit here, normal profit here. So what is the industry supply curve here? Industry के diagram पे ध्यान दीजिएगा. We have to draw industry supply curve. So earlier price was P1, supply was Q1. Now what happens in the industry that at the same price industry is supplying more quantity. So connect first and second this point. So what is the shape now? It is horizontal. So in book it is basically drawn complete. So this horizontal line is long run industry supply curve. The horizontal line is long run industry supply curve. So now read this question and then draw the diagram. Read this. You have answered one part. Derive the long run supply curve in the constant cost industry. So you have to derive that part first. Then subsequently in the what condition it can be sloping downward. So there are two parts of that question. In the first part it is basically constant cost industry. So what is the meaning of constant cost industry? In the constant cost industry, price of input will not change. Price of input will remain same. This industry, class industry, coaching industry, is it constant cost, increasing cost, decreasing cost? Is it constant cost, increasing cost or decreasing cost? This is also an industry. As more and more, suppose in all classes are located in old Ayandanagar area, as more and more institutes will be there, that means market expands, but to provide service they will require land first. You have required that space. So as more firms will enter, what will be the impact on rental cost here? What about the rental cost? Space तो बढ़ नहीं रहा, number of firms बढ़ रहे हैं, तो what will be the impact on rental cost? It will rise, and it will rise significantly. So as rental cost will rise, the cost of providing class will also rise. So it is a case of constant cost or increasing cost? It is a case of increasing cost industry. All type of cost, whatever be the input, input can be labor also, input can be capital also, input can be land also, input can be raw material also. For example, suppose aviation industry. So what is input there in the aviation industry? Fuel charges, skilled pilots, professionals. As more airways will come, what will be the impact on that cost? If the supply of skilled labor is less, as more airways come, they have to pay more wages, so their cost will increase. So there can be many type of industries. In micro, you can give example of various type of industry. What about the matchbox industry, candle industry? Their cost increases significantly or remain more or less same? Same, because their cost does not changes. So we have example of various types of industry. It may remain same also. So this is your first diagram. Briefly explain that part. Long run industry supply curve. Long run industry supply curve explains relationship between long run industry supply curve explains relationship between market price and quantity supplied. Market price and quantity supplied by industry. Market price and quantity supplied by industry when all existing firms in market earns normal profit. Remember, in those type of question, it is not only required that you have drawn the diagram, because 15 marks question hai and the evaluation is stiff, you know. So your answer should be using the effective words. Then only you expect 60 or 70. Else it is always in the range of 40%, 30-40. तो आप जो लिख रहे हैं वो उसको जरा ध्यान से लिखिए. And you are expected to reproduce it in the paper. Next paragraph. Long run industry supply curve can be horizontal line. Long run industry supply curve can be horizontal line or positively sloped or negatively sloped. Depending on whether there is constant cost industry, depending on ABC कर लीजिएगा, depending on A constant cost industry, B increasing cost industry, C decreasing cost industry. Constant cost industry increasing cost industry, decreasing cost industry. Next paragraph. An industry is constant cost industry if an industry is constant cost industry if price of factors of production, if price of factors of production within bracket inputs, if price of factors of production remains constant as industry expands, underline that. An industry is constant cost industry if price of factors of production remains constant as industry expands. Therefore, it will be possible for industry to produce and supply more of output at same price Next paragraph. As shown in diagram, when market demand shifts rightward, then in short run, price increases and existing firms in market increases their output. But this situation cannot persist. As new firms enter into market. Full stop. With entry of firms, demand for input increases. But under constant cost industry assumption, after comma, price of input remains same. So average cost curve does not shift. So with entry of new firms, price returns back to original level. Where all firms make only normal profit. Therefore, long run industry supply curve is horizontal line. long run industry supply curve is horizontal line. So this was for the constant cost industry. Below that subheading is increasing cost industry. Just two diagram left is increasing cost industry. Increasing cost industry. Define this term first. An industry is increasing cost industry if an industry is increasing cost industry if prices of factors of production increases. Prices of factors of production increases as market expands. As market expands. It mainly arises due to external diseconomies. It mainly arises due to external diseconomies of scale. External diseconomies of scale. Underline that. External diseconomies of scale. As a result, cost curve shifts upward. As a result, cost curve shifts upward. Therefore, industry can supply more of output. Industry can supply more of output only at a higher price. Industry can supply more of output only at a higher price. Only at a higher price. As a result, long run industry supply curve is positively sloped. Long run industry supply curve is positively sloped. Long run industry supply curve is positively sloped. Now if you apply that concept graphically, step wise draw करते हैं. Draw this initial demand and supply line anywhere. Their intersection determine price. That price is same for all firm. For normal profit, it is tangent. This will be the quantity produced by one firm, and by market this is the total quantity. So you start with this point. You may ignore to draw that MC line. It is not necessary. You know that this will be the minimum point, will always be the quantity. So what will happen in this case? As demand expands, the logic is always same. What is the effect on price? Price will increase and it will become more than average cost. Therefore, profit. Because of that profit, there will be entry. But now entry will cost two things. Due to entry, supply curve will shift. But due to entry, cost will also increase. So this cost curve will shift up. ये cost curve up shift हो जाएगा because of increasing cost industry. For same firm, for producing same quantity, the cost will be now higher. So this cost curve will shift up. So unlike in the previous diagram where demand curve shifted and supply curve both shifted by equal magnitude and price remains same. In this case, as cost will increase when firms will enter, it will deter some entrant into the market. The number of entrant in this case will be more or less. It will be less because increasing cost will restrict some firms to enter into the market, तो supply curve का shift कम होगा. So shift the supply curve by a lesser magnitude. Mark that new intersection. From that intersection, draw this price. And then draw this MR line. What else you have to show now? You have to shift this cost curve also. ये cost curve भी shift करना है. Usually what happens that when the cost curve shifts, in some book it is also shown as the parallel shift. In that case minimum point will remain same, but in Kotsianis or logical as well, as cost will shift up, firm will slightly reduce their production. So it, when it shifts up it will be left also, and when it shift down it will be right also. So I am shifting it but slightly to the left of it. But it does not matter, there is normal profit at this point, there is normal profit at this point also. But point is, where is the industry supply curve? In this diagram, where is supply curve of industry? We started with this point and final adjustment point is this after entry. So if you connect these 2 points, then what is the shape? This is positively sloped industry supply curve, because it is a case of increasing cost industry. So in increasing cost industry I can supply more only when the prices are higher. Reason, as I supply more the cost is also higher, so I require a higher price to compensate for that. तो increasing cost industry में supply curve कैसा हो गया? Positive. पहले जो ड्रॉ किया था it was horizontal. So in a constant cost industry horizontal, increasing cost industry it will be positive. So what will be in the case of decreasing? Negative. So in the constant you shifted both equally. In increasing you shifted demand more, supply less. So what you will do in the decreasing cost industry? You will shift supply curve more and demand curve less. So third and last part is decreasing cost industry. Last paragraph only. Decreasing cost industry. An industry is said to be decreasing cost industry. An industry is said to be decreasing cost industry. An industry is said to be decreasing cost industry if its long run supply curve an industry is said to be decreasing cost industry if an industry is said to be decreasing cost industry if price of input decreases as market expands. An industry is decreasing cost industry if price of input decreases as market expands. Market expands means there are many firms in the market. That is expansion of market industry. It arises mainly due to external economies of scale. It arises mainly due to external economies of scale. Underline that. External economies of scale. The main reason behind external economies is technological innovation. Therefore, in a decreasing cost industry, long run supply curve is negatively sloped. Long run supply curve is negatively sloped. भाई ये जितने भी वर्ड आप यूज कर रहे हो, एक्सटर्नल इकोनॉमीज और डिस इकोनॉमीज, दे आर यूज्ड इन दिस कंटेक्स्ट. As number of firm in the market increases, as the number of firm in the market increases, if this average cost curve is shifting downward, ये कंप्लीट अगर डाउनवर्ड आ रहा है तो इसको क्या बोलना है, एक्सटर्नल इकोनॉमीज है. इकोनॉमीज मीन्स फॉर प्रोड्यूसिंग सेम क्वांटिटी अर्लियर कॉस्ट वाज हायर व्हेन नंबर ऑफ फर्म्स वर लेस. As number of firm increases, the cost curve shifted downward. Why China is able to produce a lot of consumer goods at a lower cost as compared to India? In China, why cost is lower as compared to India? Because in that country, for a particular product, there is a cluster area developed, what is known as the special economic zones. In those zones, there are many firms. But what is the advantage of having many firms? Due to presence of many firms, their cost is shifting down and down. They are realizing what? External economies of scale benefit. Why you get a product at a lower price in a wholesale market as compared to a retail market? क्या हो जाता है कि होलसेल में कम मिल जाता है, या किसी आप मार्केट प्लेस में जाके प्रोडक्ट बाई करते हो तो चीपर रेट पे मिल गया, और आइसोलेटेड शॉप में जाके खरीदा तो प्राइस ज़्यादा रहा. रीज़न, देयर मस्ट बी सम एडवांटेज, कॉस्ट लॉजिक है उसके पीछे, देयर सपोर्ट ऑफ इट. इफ फर्म्स आर, रिमेंबर, इफ फर्म्स आर स्कैटर्ड at different places, firms are also producing goods by using some input. So if there is an input supplier, if there is an input supplier located here and he has to supply that input to different firm located scattered, then his transportation cost will be more. But if all those firms which are earlier scattered are now concentrated into one area, then the transportation cost for this input supplier will get reduced. So if that transportation cost get reduced, the cost benefit can be passed on to the buyer. Earlier, if there were less number of firms, it was producing less input. Now more firms are there, it is producing more quantity, then also cost will get reduced. So there are certain justification for external economies of scale as well. In the when you just draw this curve, this is also economies, ये भी economies है, but it is internal, and when I shift it, it is external. Internal कब होता है? When size of firm expands. If Maruti earlier produces less car, if Maruti expands its production, then it realizes the benefits. It is movement along the line. It is internal to that firm. But even when Maruti is not producing more car, but in car industry there are many firms entering, और उसका कॉस्ट अगर घट जाए तो कहेंगे एक्सटर्नल इकोनॉमीज है, कॉस्ट बढ़ जाए तो क्या बोलना है, एक्सटर्नल डिसइकोनॉमीज है. सो यू हैव डिफरेंट एग्जांपल्स ऑफ इट. सिंस यू आर शिफ्टिंग इट अप एंड डाउन, देयरफॉर यू आर एडिंग एक्सटर्नल वर्ड, एक्सटर्नल इकोनॉमीज एंड डिसइकोनॉमीज. इसे डायग्राम कंप्लीट कर लीजिए, डिक्रीजिंग कॉस्ट इंडस्ट्री का डायग्राम. Draw this average cost which is tangent. You have to always start with the same in all diagram, up to this is same. Then shift demand curve by less magnitude, because you have to shift supply curve more. Again price will rise initially, so when price will rise, it will become greater than AC, causing supernormal profit, and because of that there is entry, and entry will cause two things. It will shift cost downward, and because of entry this supply curve will shift right side. So as new firms enter, the cost of production get reduced, so it will attract more and more firms into the market, so there will be more entry now here. So with more entry, this supply curve will shift more So shift this supply curve more. This will be the last point here. This is the first point. Your last point should be below this. And determine this price and rest. What more? You have to shift this average cost curve also downward, but when you shift it downward, slightly to the right. Your average cost is shifting downward. This is the first point and this is the last point. By connecting both points, you get negatively sloped long run industry supply curve. Negatively sloped long run industry supply curve. So if any question says can long run supply curve be negatively sloped, then answer is yes. Long run supply curve can be negatively sloped. Long run supply curve can be negatively sloped. So ideally, basically you have referred, this is chapter number 5 from Kotsianis, Modern Microeconomics, chapter number 5, Perfect Competition. So in this class you have referred that chapter. We will continue with this market form, but market is perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic, oligopoly. As per importance, oligopoly has a greater weightage. So you know the basic of market. Now we can study from any form of market. So it will be basically continuing with first oligopoly, because oligopoly has a greater weightage. Then we will be explaining monopolistic and then we will explain monopoly. So we started with perfect competition, then we will switch over to oligopoly first and then monopolistic and then monopoly. Now those students who are joining online for economic service, remember this 95 to 100 class will be common with that AS, and these classes will be uploaded separately, but it is not that after 95 to 100 these classes will be uploaded, it will be uploaded simultaneously also. Time to time ये add होता रहेगा, separate class for micro numerical as well, plus this stats and econometrics and GS and English, and it will be taking around, we can say, 6 months to cover this. And this course will include basically 3 things here. One will be your class, second will be your test series. So that test of economic service will be having around 14 tests, in optional is only 12. So in economic service there will be 2 more for this GS and English part. So and we will be providing certain specific material also topic wise. All questions you should be keeping with yourself, or will be providing it in this form. That means all previous year paper for economic service, you should have this spiral which will contain all the economic service questions. For paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and for Indian economy, for GS and as well as for English. So for at least you should be preparing for last, we can say maximum 10 year. 10 year will be enough, I think. There will be enough question. So there should be one spiral for all those topics, so that the previous year question is at one place, and when we are studying in the class we will be referring to those questions also. The differentiating factor is clear. The differentiating factor will be basically that paper 1 mainly it is. So for paper 1 it is mainly maths, stats, econometrics I have written separately, and for micro numerical also they will be separate. So I think if you cover the all 150 classes, then you are obviously covering for the optional as well, because any students who are taking that economic service class, this optional entire class is included. So you are all, it means you have prepared for that topic as well. But any students who are taking only for AS, for them these things are extra to be covered, to be done to attempt economic service exam. But if any student is taking IES, then this entire class is basically covered. Clear? So we'll continue with oligopoly, but your class will continue, that is class number 2 from day after tomorrow, Wednesday. ठीक है, oligopoly. Otherwise it will be regular Monday to Friday, but the second class will be on Wednesday, from Wednesday onwards. Thank you.